do these types of events. I like to do the public-facing events like we're doing together at Billingsgate on the 5th of July and doing Facebook Lives and that sort of stuff. But it's important to me that we represent landlords in the right sort of way. But people's ability to exercise free speech is important and have their say, as long as that's in a professional context. Then I'm literally all ears about how we can get better at what we do. But we had a case, if I take a little segue now for a moment on this very issue, about the balance between free speech and defamation in the last few days. Do you want to fill listeners in on that?
Yeah, well, thank you for giving me the opportunity just to mention this, Ben, because it does kind of seeg into what we've been saying, because certain parts of our sector do lack in transparency, do lack in freedom of speech. Content is very much controlled. Negative commentary, or what is perceived to be negative commentary or criticism, is framed as being some kind of hater or neghead or something like that. So there's a case that was settled this week in the High Court. It was a defamation case between multimillionaire businessman Aaron Banks and a journalist by the name of Carol Cadwallader, who writes for the Observer, among many other papers. But it really was a victory for the little guy. And the judge ruled that Carol could use the defence of in the public interest, because she made some references to Mr. Banks' activities and connections with dubious Russian characters on her TED talk about 3 years ago. It's taken this long to come through to fruition, this case. But as some of you may know, I myself am facing a defamation court case, and there's actually quite a lot of similarities between what's happened with Carol and what happened with me. And one of the things was that Carol was kind of subjected to personal threats, abuse, trolling, misogynistic content online. That's happened to me. Carol was able to use her defence in the public interest, which is one of my defences in my case. The actual claimant did not go after the publisher, i.e. TEDx or the Observer. He went after the journalist, knowing that she could probably not afford her legal costs to defend herself. And Carol went and got crowdfunding for her case, and that's what I've been doing. So I just wanted to say, with Ben's kind permission, I'm going to pop my Crowd Justice link into the chat box, because I'd really appreciate anybody that feels that I add value to the private sector, if you could go and have a look at what's happening to me with my legal case. And if you think it's a worthy cause, please do make a donation and be a supporter of me. Carol had over 800,000 donated to her costs. She's won, so she's going to get all her costs back. My legal battle probably going to cost me somewhere in the region of 650,000. So
bloody hell, really?
Yeah, that's how much it costs to defend the legal case in the High Court against defamation. It's such complex law, and it's the most expensive form of litigation. And a lot of people use what's known as lawfare, use defamation cases to shut down public interest commentary. Actually, London is known as the libel capital of the world, because all the wealthy people come here to try their cases because they can afford to shut down the little guy. So if you wouldn't mind looking at my link and showing some support and love for me, that would be so appreciated. And Ben, thank you to you for your stance. I know you've got my back, and that means a lot to me, and I'm really eternally grateful to you and everybody that's supported my case.
Bless you. I'm feeling my donation is insufficient compared. I had no idea it cost that money, and I think it's absolutely right that we raise awareness of some of this nonsense. We spoke about training and get rich quick, and frankly, folks, you need to be careful about who you're jumping into bed with, if I put it in those terms, because as I've said before on this, the training, the training doesn't have to be expensive. And I get, there's some criticisms for NRLA around doing it, but our training is around 100 quid, right? Frankly, take it or leave it. It's up to you. I'd much rather make sure that you're in better hands than one of these fly-by-nights that are out there promising all things to everybody, but failing to deliver. So we will continue to highlight injustices like this on this piece. And can I thank everybody for their feedback about my own association and how we can do better.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to add the wealth creation industry is totally unregulated, so it's only community generated due diligence resources and commentary like those provided by myself, the Property Tribes community, other commentators on social media. We are the thin line between potential financial loss and the kind of resources that I've produced have hopefully helped people make wise choices about where to go and get training from. So if you support freedom of speech and commentary in the public interest, then thank you very much, and I hope you'll jump across to my Crowd Justice link.